On the broadcast this evening, sending a message, a presidential video reaching out to a surprising audience, Iran. Is a new relationship possible? Eye of the storm inside the huge company at the center of the financial crisis. A revealing look at how and where the trouble started. Growth industry. Michelle Obama starts a vegetable garden at the White House. Turns out she's onto something big, and it's growing. And party favors, making birthday wishes come true, even in hard times, by making a difference. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. I'm Natalie Morales in tonight for Brian Williams. Fresh off his California tour, the president is revving up for another critical week, laying down guidelines for his $787 billion stimulus plan. But we also learned today just how bad the economic crisis is, and it's expected to get worse. The Congressional Budget Office is projecting the deficit will climb to a whopping $1.8 trillion just this year. While the president continued to focus on the dollars and cents, he also made a dramatic foreign policy overture to a nation the Bush administration once labeled part of the axis of evil, Iran. Obama called for a new beginning in Iran after decades of strained relations. And we begin tonight with NBC News Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent Andrea Mitchell at the State Department with what is behind the message and how it's being received. Andrea, good evening.
Good evening, Natalie. President Obama has said that he's willing to extend a hand to Iran if they're willing to open and unclench their fist. And now he's made that appeal directly to the Iranians themselves. New Year's in Iran, called Nowruz, an ancient holiday celebrated with flowers that means new day, marked by a video greeting from President Obama.
So in this season of new beginnings, I would like to speak clearly to Iran's leaders. We have serious differences that have grown over time. My administration is now committed to diplomacy.
In his message, the president did not concede any ground on the nuclear issue.
This process will not be advanced by threats. We seek instead engagement that is honest and grounded in mutual respect.
But his tone was conciliatory, respectful, and he closed with these words.
Thank you, and Eid-e-Shoma Mubarak.
Happy New Year in Farsi. President Obama's message was not shown on Iran's government television, but appeared on satellite networks and websites throughout the Mideast. At the same time, in apparent coordination, Israel's President Shimon Peres sent his own audio greeting to Iran, appealing, he said, to the noble Iranian people on behalf of the ancient Jewish people. But Peres does not speak for Israel's incoming hardline government. Iran's leaders had already taped their New Year's greetings before President Obama's overture. Still, officials reacted with moderate statements. And it was the talk of the internet in Iranian chat rooms. U.S. experts called President Obama's message a sea change.
This is a completely new tone. Obama is addressing them. He's referring to the Islamic Republic, recognizing the Iranian government, recognizing that Iran has a legitimate right for a role in the region.
Nonetheless, the administration does not expect real progress until after Iran's elections in June, when President Ahmadinejad faces moderate challengers. The next step could take place in less than 2 weeks when Hillary Clinton has invited Iran to a conference in Europe on Afghanistan. And that could mark the start of real diplomacy. Natalie?
Andrea Mitchell at the State Department tonight. Thank you. And as we mentioned, the economy remains the president's top priority, and that's a problem that just seems to keep getting tougher, as it did today with those new deficit projections. NBC's chief White House correspondent Chuck Todd has more on some staggering numbers. Chuck, good evening.
Good evening, Natalie. Well, as you know, the president's budget is an attempt to do more than just talk about numbers. It's an attempt to revamp health care, energy, education, a number of issues, and it's very costly. The president's own numbers estimate that his budget is going to add $7 trillion to the deficit over the next 10 years. However, the Congressional Budget Office came out with their own analysis, and they have it at $9.3 trillion, basically labeling the president's numbers as a bit too optimistic about economic growth over the next 2 years. Republicans calling it rosy. It's making the entire campaign that the president is attempting to do with the budget that much tougher. There's a whole organization this weekend that's going to try to gear up and revamp this thing and try to push the budget through. But these new numbers from Congress make it that much harder for the president to claim that he is trying to focus on deficit reduction when, frankly, those deficit numbers look like they're ballooning. Natalie?
Chuck Todd at the White House tonight. Thank you. Last night, during his appearance on The Tonight Show, President Obama made a comment he probably wishes he hadn't, making fun of his own admittedly limited skill as a bowler. The president said it was, quote, like the Special Olympics or something. Well, after the show, the president made a call from Air Force One to the chairman of the Special Olympics, Tim Shriver, to apologize. And today, White House spokesman Robert Gibbs called President Obama's remark a thoughtless joke and said the president believes the Special Olympics are a triumph of the human spirit. Now to the political storm that has angered many lawmakers and taxpayers, the outrage over bonuses paid out to executives at AIG. And tonight we take a closer look at what exactly went wrong, specifically in its London office, now ground zero for the insurance giant's financial collapse. Here's NBC's Tom Costello.
It was in this London office that AIG's problems exploded into a financial tsunami that has threatened the entire economy. The man in charge, Joseph Cassano, who lives in this London townhouse, a hard-charging New Yorker who opened AIG's financial products unit in London back in 1987. And in 1998 dramatically changed AIG's business, taking on huge risk, insuring other banks' debts, corporate investments, bonds, real estate deals, and subprime mortgages. $2.7 trillion in so-called derivative contracts.
They said, look, we'll insure all the risk in the world, which is a crazy idea, but they got huge premiums for doing it, resulting in huge bonuses over a number of years.
Cassano himself earned $280 million over 8 years. But when the real estate market turned sour, AIG suddenly didn't have the cash to pay out on the insurance claims. And the company really did not have a good handle on what it insured.
What they didn't perhaps understand is anything about the origination of those loans.
AIG lost its AAA credit rating in 2005. That's when former CEO Hank Greenberg retired.
I think there were some foolish management decisions in AIG financial products, and there was a cash drain. And AIG should have recognized that when they lost their AAA rating, they should have stopped.
But instead, Cassano's unit took on even more risk. By September 2007, AIG was reporting a $352 million loss on its swaps business. By March 2008, Cassano left AIG with a $34 million golden parachute and this agreement to earn $1 million per month in consulting fees. While he's not charged with any wrongdoing, his AIG financial products unit did pay $126 million in 2004 to settle federal criminal and civil allegations of fraud and helping clients falsify financial records. The company admitted no wrongdoing. This week, AIG's current CEO insisted things have changed in Cassano's old unit.
The people who were primarily responsible for credit default swaps that brought us to our knees, they're gone.
In 2007, Cassano said he could not imagine the company losing $1 in any swap investment. He was wrong. In the last quarter of 2008, AIG lost $62 billion. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
And another sign of these tough economic times, the U.S. Postal Service is eliminating 1,400 management jobs and offering early retirement to 150,000 workers. The post office lost $2.8 billion last year and is expected to lose even more this year. Confessed swindler Bernard Madoff will remain where he is, behind bars in a small jail cell in New York City until his sentencing in June. A federal appeals court today denied Madoff's plea to be released, saying he could try to flee if allowed bail. Madoff was jailed last week after pleading guilty to defrauding investors of as much as $65 billion. He faces up to 150 years in prison. On Wall Street today, stocks put together 2 positive weeks in a row for the first time in nearly a year. However, today ended on a down note. The Dow lost more than 122 points on the day. The price of oil has been edging back up lately, and with it, talk of alternative energy sources and saving the planet. But in the end, the planet may save us. Dig deep enough, even in the coldest places on Earth, and you'll find an unlimited source of heat. And that means opportunity. More now from our Chief Environmental Affairs correspondent, Ann Thompson.
On the snow-swept shore of a New York Finger Lake, Rich Moravic's crew drills for heat. The temperature hovers near freezing above ground, but far beneath the surface, some 200 feet down, the Earth is an average 55 degrees. The source for a geothermal heating and cooling system that produces dramatically fewer carbon dioxide emissions and much lower energy bills.
30 to 70% savings.
Instead of burning oil or natural gas, a geothermal system uses the constant temperature of the Earth to heat and cool your home. In a geothermal system, the Earth is your power plant, heating or cooling a water mixture similar to the antifreeze in your car by moving it through pipes buried underground. The water mixture then travels to a heat pump in your house.
It's using electricity to transfer and concentrate the energy from the ground into the house.
Flip a switch, the process reverses, and you get air conditioning. Joe Fantasia put geothermal in his new 3,500 square foot home, twice the size of his old house.
We had a utility bill of about $250.
$250?
$250. The utility bill here for almost twice the space is about $140 a month.
The initial price can run around $15,000, and now there's a 30% federal tax credit to lower costs. Demand for these systems is growing. Nationally, shipments of geothermal systems nearly tripled between 2003 and 2008, heating the homes of 3 million Americans. And in upstate New York, Moravic's office, a hotel, even a city hall. Brian Hayden runs a company training installers.
In the first 6 months, we had 4 seminars. We weren't able to do one a month, and now we're doing 1 or 2 a week.
So this is a technique that
lessons that can help small businesses survive and homeowners save money and the Earth. Ann Thompson, NBC News, Jordan, New York.
When Nightly News continues on this Friday evening, a top mortgage company executive blows the whistle on his own industry and later making a difference on the day that counts the very most when you're a kid.
I never thought it could happen to me. Heart attack at 53. I had felt fine. But turns out my cholesterol and other risk factors increased my chance of a heart attack. I should have done something. Now I trust my heart to Lipitor.
When diet and exercise are not enough, adding Lipitor may help. Unlike some other cholesterol-lowering medications, Lipitor is FDA approved to reduce the risk of heart attack, stroke, and certain kinds of heart surgeries in patients with several common risk factors or heart disease. Lipitor has been extensively studied with over 16 years of research. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. This may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect.
I was caught off guard, but maybe you could learn from my story.
Have a heart-to-heart with your doctor about your risk and about Lipitor.
I thought a complete multivitamin was enough until I learned 1 in 3 men will face prostate issues. And One A Day Men's has more selenium than Centrum to support prostate health. And it supports heart health. That works for me.
1 A Day Men's.
Thermacare wants to know, where does it hurt?
My aching shoulder.
Target the pain with Thermacare heat wraps. Thermacare delivers real heat that penetrates deep to relax tight muscles all day. Try Thermacare heat wraps and wear it where it hurts.
Bicycle, I've missed you. Gathering dust as flowers bloom and pollen floats through the air, while I, sneezing, itching eyes, looked for safer havens in the air conditioning. But now with the strength of 24-hour Zyrtec to relieve my worst allergy symptoms, indoors and outdoors, I'll wipe off the dust that gathered these long months. Use Zyrtec, which starts working 2 hours faster than Claritin. And promise not to wait as long to go for our ride. Because with Zyrtec, I can love the air.
Tonight, her husband made money, then he made headlines.
There's some kind of attempt to fake his own death.
A suspicious plane crash.
Did you know that he was in trouble with the law?
Now she's holding the bag, but where's the cash?
He left me with nothing.
She's talking only to Dateline. Tonight, 10/9 Central on NBC.
It's Left Wing Smear Machine Week, the finale, with Keith and a special guest.
Whose idea was this?
Countdown with Keith Olbermann tonight on MSNBC.
More on the economy tonight. This week, Dateline NBC will focus on the current financial crisis and how we got here. Tonight, an exclusive look at what went wrong in the multi-trillion-dollar mortgage business, what some describe as the match that lit the fuse. Here's NBC's Chris Hansen.
As chief operating officer of a subprime lender, James LaLiberty had a front row seat to the mortgage meltdown.
The reputation of the company was, it was a fraud factory.
The company, People's Choice Home Loan.
The chief appraiser once said, fraud is what we do. That's how we got where we are today.
He says one of the factors that fueled the crisis was the so-called stated income loan, where lenders didn't verify how much borrowers really made. In Los Angeles, Dolores Parker Jackson told People's Choice she earned $180,000 a year running a daycare program, and they loaned her nearly $300,000 to refinance this condo. And People's Choice wasn't the only one to lend her money. 4 lenders gave her a total of 6 loans. 2 were funded by a company owned at the time by NBC's parent, General Electric.
You have 4 condos, 6 mortgages, including the second.
First and the second, you're correct.
Totaling $1.3 million.
That is correct.
Problem is, Parker Jackson had a history of filing for bankruptcy, and court records show during the years she obtained several of her loans, she reported negative income to the IRS. This is a list of thousands of other stated income loans People's Choice funded. A massage therapist claimed income of $15,000 a month, a carpenter $12,700 a month, and a house cleaner $11,500. The company commissioned an internal survey in 2005. A third of employees who responded said they'd witnessed breaches of laws and regulations. 10% said they'd been asked to do fraudulent things themselves.
It was double digits, and it was very disturbing to executive management. You look at that and you think to yourself, how am I going to correct something that's this far out of control?
Ultimately, LaLiberty was fired. In 2007, People's Choice filed for bankruptcy. Former company CEO Neil Cornsweet declined our request for an on-camera interview. In statements to NBC, Cornsweet's spokesman said LaLiberty was the primary architect of the People's Choice system. The spokesman acknowledged the results of the internal survey, but said that People's Choice had higher standards and was more conservative than most subprime lenders and did everything it could to prevent abuse. Today, Cornsweet lives in this oceanfront home in Southern California and works with a business auctioning foreclosed properties. Chris Hansen, NBC News, New York.
And you can see more of Chris Hansen's report on Dateline NBC Sunday night at 7 o'clock, 6 Central. When we continue this Friday evening, planting the seeds of a revolution in the way we put food on the table, one garden at a time.
They tickle, they tease, and you sneeze. Maybe it's time to ask your doctor about Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair blocks leukotrienes, an underlying cause of nasal allergy symptoms. And that's how Singulair works differently. 1 pill, once a day. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat allergies.
This is a Centrum multivitamin, complete from A to zinc. This is CoroWise, a natural ingredient that can lower cholesterol. Put them together, and you get Centrum Cardio, the first and only complete multivitamin that can lower cholesterol. Centrum Cardio.
With just a few adjustments, the plan we worked on for your retirement makes sense. Just stay on track.
What is...
That's the guidance you get from Fidelity.
Thanks.
Stay on the line!
Whatever your destination, Fidelity has the people, guidance, and investments to help you find your way. Fidelity Investments. Turn here.
First we add the baking soda, then we put the vinegar.
Scientific explorations in the kitchen? Bring it.
It started bubbling.
New Bounty has 25% thicker quilts. It cleans the mess with less.
Then you know what, Teddy? It exploded! Yeah, it hit the ceiling.
In lab tests, Bounty absorbs twice as much as the bargain brand. And it's more durable.
It was really cool.
Why use more when you can use less? New Bounty, the even thicker, quicker picker-upper.
I never thought I would have a heart attack.
but I did. You need to talk to your doctor about aspirin. You need to be your own advocate.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
You take care of your kids. Now it's time to take care of yourself.
What you did at this morning's meeting, that was pure poetry.
Stop it.
Hello, you spotted $1 million accounting error that no one else noticed.
That was pretty sweet.
But you did have 8 layers of sweet, crunchy backup.
What can I say? You're the man. Or the little dude.
That's me.
Stay sharp by stopping mid-morning hunger with Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheat Cereal. It's an excellent source of fiber that helps you stay full and focused.
He's a little focused right now. Can I take a message?
Sunday, exclusive. 3 political heavyweights speak out on the economy. Schwarzenegger, Bloomberg, Randell. Together only on Meet the Press.
On this first day of spring, Michelle Obama was out working in the yard at the White House. With the help of some Washington 5th graders, the First Lady broke ground for a vegetable garden, the first at the White House since the Roosevelt's Victory Garden during World War II. And growing your own vegetables is a great way to spend more time outdoors, getting closer to nature while putting healthy food on the table. But it can also be a way to save real money, and these days, that's a recipe for success. Here's NBC's Chris Jansing down on the farm.
The off-season quiet of the Irish Ice farm in Washington state is a far cry from what's going on in the office.
Good morning, Irish Ice. This is Sue.
We're sold out of organic all blue.
Your order should be shipped out.
The Lutovsky family business, selling seeds to grow vegetables, has exploded.
As the economy worsened, it's just gotten busier and busier and busier.
A lot of first-time growers are calling.
A gardening resurgence explained with some simple math. Take a package of lettuce seeds for about $2.50.
You could probably get maybe 800 heads of lettuce out of this package alone.
The Schnazi family expects to harvest thousands of dollars worth of produce for a $200 investment.
Dig a little hole.
Fatima Schnazi was a manager at Starbucks, but when they downsized, she became a stay-at-home mom who discovered growing her own food can mean big savings.
It's the time that you spend to go out to the grocery store, it's the gas money. So you end up using less, so you have less waste. It's just back to the basics.
Basics that harken back to victory gardens of World War II. Nearly 20 million Americans planted gardens from backyards to city lots. In 2009, community gardens are sprouting new plots in record numbers, from Los Angeles to Atlanta, Jackson to Columbus, Huntsville to Orlando. Back at Irish Eyes, these recession gardens are fueling an economic boomlet. See all these potatoes? They're not for eating, they're for planting. The farm has gone from 30,000 to 160,000 pounds in a year. They've had to build 2 new buildings, with 2 more on the way. From 6 employees, there are now 15.
They're working as fast as they can.
Orders pouring in from all 50 states.
If you can get this order out here.
A bumper crop of new enthusiasm for the old-fashioned family garden. Chris Jansing, NBC News, Ellensburg, Washington.
When we come back, making a difference by putting the happy in happy birthday for kids who really need it.
Sunshine, I'd really like to tell you, oh my sunshine.
Allergies can make them miss out. Children's Benadryl effectively relieves your child's allergy symptoms, like runny nose, sneezing, and itchy eyes. It works when they need it most. Children's Benadryl. You can't pause life.
Get you home.
The 80 awesome calories of Silk Light provide 6 grams of protein and all the calcium of milk for a feeling of strength from start to finish.
If you're a prisoner to your dry skin because it keeps coming back, Olay Quench invites you to break that cycle with Olay Quench Body Lotion, clinically proven to help keep dry skin from coming back. Olay Quench.
What's that say? Mr. Clean with Febreze Fresh Scent?
Oh, boy.
Oh, Mr. Has-It-All comes in here.
Hey, world, he cleans great. And he helps eliminate odors, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's like a guy that's like a good actor, but then also he's a musician, too. And then sometimes he'll do some modeling.
I can't compete with this guy.
The power of Mr. Clean, the freshness of Febreze in one bottle.
It's clear we need more energy from all sources. And most Americans agree we need more domestic oil and natural gas. But does that mean you'll see more oil and gas platforms? Well, with advanced subsea technology, one platform can now gather oil from wells 40 miles away. So what used to take many just a few years ago now takes only one. That's more of the oil and natural gas we need from less than meets the eye. Log on to learn more.
Want to bounce back fast from tough pain? Get relief that's liquid fast. Advil Strong. Advil Liquid Gels. Faster and stronger than extra strength Tylenol on tough pain. Advil Liquid Gels rush relief right where you need it. Advil Liquid Gels. Liquid fast. Advil Strong.
Nothing is going to stop me from eating the foods I love, even when I know they cause gas. Beano stops gas before it starts. These stop gas after it starts. But if you wait until gas starts, isn't that too late? Take Beano before, and there'll be no gas.
This is a KGW News Channel 8 update.
Next, Portland's now the home of a Major League Soccer team. Today's announcement, plus the parking shortage in Oregon City that's keeping ticket writers very busy.
I'm Matt Safino. I'll have your spring break forecast. We've got showers, but we've got good skiing on the way as well. All the news and weather at 6.
Making a Difference. Brought to you by Beano.
In our continuing search for good news, tonight our Making a Difference report shines the light on an organization helping make children's wishes come true. Every child counts down to his or her birthday every year. But for families who have fallen on hard times, birthdays can be just like any other day. No party, no celebration. But now some very caring folks in Massachusetts are trying to change that. NBC's Rahima Ellis has their story.
It's a birthday party with all the trimmings of a typical celebration, except it's not. These 4 kids and their friends are all homeless and living in a Boston shelter. The party's run by a nonprofit organization that helps families struggling through hard times remember their child's special day.
It was something that there was a need for, a great need for.
Lisa Vasiloff and 3 other friends came up with a program called Birthday Wishes. They wanted to find a way for their own kids to give back to the community.
At the time, one of my friends was volunteering at a homeless shelter, and she learned of a child who had a birthday pass completely with no celebration, no cake, no gift or anything.
In 2002, the program began with 12 kids in one shelter. Last year, there were parties for more than 1,000 homeless children in 65 shelters in Massachusetts. Using private funds and corporate grants, the Birthday Wishes organization donates almost everything for the parties, from balloons to presents and goodie bags. Once a month, volunteers turn into party coordinators for the shelters, bringing in all kinds of fun. Activities parents say they can't afford.
It's really hard to give her that big special day that kids love.
It's like a cloud that has been lifted with the children, like rainbows coming in because of the fact that someone actually does care.
We give each other hugs and we're really happy to see each other, so it's more of like a friendship now than a community service project.
Throwing parties for homeless children and making birthday wishes come true. Rahima Ellis, NBC News, Boston.
And that's our broadcast for this Friday night and for this week. Thank you for being with us. I'm Natalie Morales, and Brian Williams will be back here on Monday. Have a good weekend. Good night.
Soccer City. The announcement met with cheers and chants. But now that Portland has landed a Major League Soccer team, what's next? And what's in it for the unemployed? Plus, when surviving is everything, a backcountry ski trip turned into a fight for his life. A Vancouver fire captain talks about the avalanche that buried him and 2 others. And about the friend who didn't make it. And everybody loses. It's not just students forced to do without vending machines in Oregon schools. It's teachers, too.
Nobody ever talked about educational employees.
How they're fed up with this one-size-fits-all law.
From the KGW HD studios, where the news comes first. News Channel 8 at 6 starts now.
Hello, I'm Laurel Porter, and tonight for Tracy.
And I'm Joe Donlin. First at 6, a Major League Soccer celebration. Today, it is official. Portland gets a big league team. And it was an announcement that drew cheers from hundreds of soccer fans. We have News Channel 8 team coverage tonight, including how this plan will bring jobs. Randy Neves was there for the announcement. It was a bit rowdy, and he's live at PGE Park tonight. Randy?
Yeah, rowdy's an understatement, Joe. The Timbers Army that normally rattles opponents at this stadium here showed up to today's press conference to cheer those who pulled off this major league deal. Afterward, the announcement and all that enthusiasm spilled over into a local pub.
Unbridled joy after a highly anticipated announcement from the Commissioner of Major League Soccer.
Portland will be the 18th team in Major League Soccer.
The Timbers' name will now belong to a professional top-tier soccer team.
The Collins Foundation. The Collins Foundation is dedicated to improving the quality of life in Oregon.